AEW Dynamite. That's for the 8th of September 2021. So, before we get started here, as I just said, my name's Steve Smith. This is the Wrestlebuddy YouTube channel. Every week, every Thursday and Saturday, I will be giving you my quick reactions and a little basic review of AEW Dynamite and AEW Rampage. These will be broadcast at 1 PM in the afternoon, so if you're available, if you're on your dinner break, or if you're just getting up in the morning over stateside, tune in, watch this, get in the chat, tell me what you thought about this week's show. If you loved it, if you hated it, that's cool. You know what I mean? Tell me what you thought of it. I want to know. So, hopefully this is going out live. This is the first time I've streamed on YouTube in ages, so I'm really hoping this is going out. Fingers crossed. Yeah, a quick bit of housekeeping before we get on. Obviously, I'm doing this on the Wrestlebuddy channel. I've done videos on my own channel before. Wrestlebuddy is a up-and-coming website. It posts wrestling news every single day. There's like 2 or 3 articles every single day. If you want to know what's happening in the world of professional wrestling, look up the Wrestlebuddy site, wrestlebuddy.co.uk. Check out the writers. They've got a great team of writers. We've got a great team of people making videos. We also have a series of wrestling-based quizzes called Quiz Buddies, which you can see me on quite a lot. Normally losing, but I'm still the champ, you know. I'm still the champ, so it's good. Catch it. Check it out. Wrestlebuddy is doing great things, and I am here to help Wrestlebuddy do more great things like this video. I mean, there's loads of AEW Dynamite reviews out there, but there's not one by me on this channel, and that's what I'm here to do. Fingers crossed this all works out fine. So let's get to today's show, because I want to try and keep these streams to about maybe 30 minutes long. I don't want them to be too long, you know. If they're too long, then people might not watch the whole thing, so I'm going to try and get this done in half an hour. This is a challenge. I used to review AEW Dynamite shows on my own channel, and it would take an hour and a half some weeks. So I've tried to condense this all down, and I'm going to try and get this out in 30 minutes. Fast and thoughts. Right off the bat, we've got the boss of Wrestlebuddy, Alex. He's in the chat. He's saying, what are your thoughts on Malachi Black destroying the Nightmare Family? I like it. We're building to something here. We're building to something new. We'll talk about it later on in the stream, but coming up on the 22nd of September, it's going to be Cody versus Malachi Black at Arthur Ashe. Big match there. That's a big match. So that'll be Cody's return. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But let's get to the show. So this week, it was live from Cincinnati. It was the John Moxley Homecoming show. And this was a great show. It was the Post All Out show. And they had a lot of stuff to get into this show. It was a lot of fun, but it was really, really damn busy. If it wasn't for the ad breaks, it would have been a solid 2 hours non-stop action. There would not have been time to breathe or think or anything. I was actually quite thankful for the adverts, mainly because I was trying to take notes and I forgot how time-consuming notes can take with me, because I take too much note. I take far too much notes, so the ad breaks were a relief this week. As I said earlier, I want to know what your thoughts on this week's show are. If you're watching live, tell me in the chat. If you're not watching live, if you're watching later on, tell me in the comments. I want to know. And if I make any mistakes, make sure to talk about them in the comments. And subscribe for more, because we're trying to build this channel up. So we're wanting your subscriptions, we're wanting your thumbs up, like the videos, all that sort of stuff. So, to the show. There was no Excalibur on commentary this week, as he was away getting married. Hey, congratulations, Excalibur. He was replaced by Taz, who was awesome as always on commentary. I really like Taz on commentary. He's just good, you know. He makes it seem real, which is a strange thing to say, but it's true. The first match on tonight's show was Dustin versus Malachi Black. So the show opened up with this. Ogun Roost played. Ogun Roost. What a song. If you want to get the joke with me, Ogun Roost, you've got to watch Quiz Buddies, but that's a meme of mine. Ogun Roost. I loved it. It was an explosive start to the show, and it was a really explosive match. About 2 minutes in, Dustin was put through a table, but nothing really came from this. I don't know why it was done or why it wasn't done, but it happened. It was a nice table spot. Don't get me wrong, it was a little backdrop to a table, but it really didn't amount to anything. He got in the back in the ring. Malachi started working Dustin's legs, stopped him from doing a Canadian Destroyer earlier on. Although later on, he then hit the Destroyer, which got a good pop, and it was a nice touch. Just some nice thinking. Dustin is really smart when it comes to the old wrestling business, you know what I mean? The finish to this match came after Black hit his diving leg sweep thing, followed by a Black Mass kick. It was a great match. It was a really fun match. I mean, I was going to say it was a great match. It was a really fun match. I don't think it was great, quote unquote, but it was really good. Once the match finished, however, there was a lot of blood coming out of Dustin's mouth. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if he ate a blood pack, and because it was really coming out of his mouth, pouring out. I don't know if he ate a blood capsule to try and sell the Black Mass kick and make it look brutal, or if he actually got hit in the mouth really bad and it was bust open. Regardless, it looked graphic as hell. It looked super graphic. A great way to start the show. We then got a quick Lucha Brothers promo video. They are the new champs and they want challengers. That's all you need to know about that. This was followed by a quick Eddie Kingston and Miro promo video. This feud is far from over. I am happy about this. The rematch is going to be awesome. I imagine this is going to be another match they're building to the Arthur Ashe show, because that's going to be quite a big show. It's in a big arena. I'm stoked for this. Eddie Kingston versus the Redeemer. Redeem these nuts. Next up, CM Punk came out to the ring to cut an in-ring promo. The crowd popped hard for him. Really hard. And they sung his theme tune, which I like. I like that people in AEW sing the theme tunes to wrestlers. It's a nice touch, you know. He thanked Darby Allin, Sting, and all the fans for his first match. He said coming back to wrestling was like riding a violent bicycle. I like that analogy. It's a really nice one. He then hyped up the John Moxley's Minoru Suzuki match for later in the show, which got a huge reaction. He gave a shout out to Pillman Jr.'s Aunt Linda's, the woman that raised him as a kid. Big up, there was a big Linda chant, basically. People loved Linda. She was in 2 angle segments this week, which was quite entertaining. Punk then went to the crowd and he said, "What's next? Who next?" He was interrupted by a very, very, very angry Taz, who demanded a microphone. And he started shouting at Punk, "Stop mentioning Team Taz members." Punk's like, I've not mentioned any Team Taz members." He's like, "Yeah, you did. On radio." Taz was angry. Hobbs and Hook came out and were standing next to Taz there. Punk replied by saying, "Give me Hobbs, give me Hook, give me Starks," which was interesting. So by the looks of it, the next part of the Punk story will be him facing the Team Taz members. And I would imagine that because they're a trio and he's a one person, that Punk will be backed up by Darby and Sting. It kind of books itself, you know what I mean? This could lead to some awesome matches and an awesome trios match between the two teams. Stoked. Happy to see this. It should be great. Next up, we had a Ruby Solo backstage promo. So tonight was her AEW Dynamite debut, so it was good for that. She talks about how she's issued an open contract for challengers to prove herself in AEW. You know, so she's not just coming in and taking a title shot and going to the top with no real battle, which I like. I admire that. She was interrupted by Britt Baker, DMD, Reba, and Jamie Hayter. Britt told her, "This is my block now. Run away to catering, where you spent the last 4 years." A savage line. Typical Britt Baker. It was awesome. This all led to Ruby Solo versus Jamie Hayter later on in the show, which we will get to in just a minute. Next up on the show, we had a quick little match. It was a good match, but it was a quick filler match. It was Hobbs versus Dante Martin. Powerhouse Hobbs got to show off his power, and Dante got to show off his Spider-Man-esque agility. He did some really cool stuff. One of the coolest things he does in the match is not even an attack move, it's just a dodge, and he does a one-footed springboard off the bottom rope and flips over the person he's wrestling. It is bloody awesome. It's like, how do you do that? How do you even manage that? I don't understand it. If Punk's the man at Gravity forgot, Dante is the man that told Gravity to piss right off, you know? It's just insane what he does. The finish to this match came when Dante had Hobbs set up for a corner-to-corner run sort of thing. Dante runs towards him, jumps, But while he's in midair, Hobbs grabbed him, spinebuster. It looked savage. The match ended right then. It was a nice finish. Quick match, but a fun match. Both men looked good. Both men got to show off what they can do, which I guess was the point of the match. Was it needed on the show? Probably not. But am I going to complain about that? No, I'm not. Not at all. Not at all. Next up, we had a short Dan Lambert promo. So, basically, his character at the moment is Jim Cornette. Tony Schiavone said something great about him. He was like, yeah, he's basically an old man shouting at clouds, which is pretty much what Jim Cornette is these days. It all kind of works. Dan Lambert is such a natural on the mic. He's like so good at talking. But that said, I absolutely hate everything he says. I absolutely hate it. I'm like, this is such cliche heel stuff. But I guess this is exactly what he wants to do. He understands that he is a heel. He understands that he has to piss people off. And what he says pisses people off. So he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He really is bloody good at talking. Like, he's bloody good. He's really, really, really good. In the promo, after berating the fans, berating people in the crowd and stuff like that, he then says that Ethan Page and Scorpio are the future. I'm interested to see where this goes. You know, I'm interested to see what they're going to do as a team and whether any of the MMA backup that Dan Lambert has been to the shows with before are going to show their face and help out Ethan Page and Scorpio. Like, what's this leading to? I don't know. I'm interested to see. But yeah, Dan Lambert, such a good promo. I hate what he says, but bloody hell, he's a good promo. This was followed up by a quick Hardy Family Office / Orange Cassidy Best Friends promo video. In this, Hardy says he wants to cut Orange Cassidy's hair. Like, okay, I don't really know where this has came from, you know, like, I'm like, okay. But it's a hair versus hair match. I've not seen one in a while. They kind of teased this at the end of the match on the pre-show for All Out, where they were... I don't really understand why Hardy wants to cut Orange Cassidy's hair. I really don't understand it. It's kind of came from nowhere, but I've not seen a hair versus hair match in a long time. I think it maybe needs a bit more build. It needs a bit more meat on the bones of this story. Because as I said, it's like, okay, so like Orange Cassidy's got really short hair as it is. Why do you want to cut that? It's going to make like no difference. I could understand if you had a mask and it was like Mask versus Hardy's hair or Butcher's hair. Or, I don't know. I'm guessing that Butcher just came back. He wants a haircut, so they're going to have a hair versus hair match. I'm willing to let this play out because all the people that's involved in this angle, it'll go somewhere. It'll go somewhere, you know. Wrestlebuddy in the chat is like directionless booking. I wouldn't say it's directionless because they clearly have a direction. The direction is a hair versus hair match and someone getting their hair cut off. What I would say about that is that it just came from it's abrupt, you know. It's kind of we've been dropped into this story in the middle as opposed to the start. I mean, yeah, thinking about it objectively, the best friends, Orange Cassidy and the Hardy Family Office, have been feuding for a month or two now. So I guess that this could be a good blow-off to that. I don't know. I'm willing to see where it plays out. I wouldn't say it was directionless, but it's definitely kind of out of nowhere. Abrupt, you know. It was like just started and they've hit the ground. I say let's see how it plays out. Let's see who gets their haircut. If Orange Cassidy gets his haircut, then yeah, it's a bit stupid. I don't know. It'd be funny if Matt Hardy got his haircut. When's the last time we've seen Matt Hardy with a haircut? That'd be kind of good. Next on the show, MJF came to the ring with Wardlow to cut a promo. As expected, he absolutely berated Cincinnati. I cannot say what he called Cincinnati. It was the swear version of the word Poopsinati. I'm going to say Poopsinati because I don't want to get us into trouble on the channel. We've got to keep it clean these days. We've got to keep it clean for YouTube. They want clean content. Yeah, and I can't really say much about what MJF said because he was savage in this He was on fire. He berated Pillman's aunt, Pillman's sister, and Pillman's mum. He called Pillman's mum, Pillman Jr.'s mum, a drug addict. Which was like, Jesus. This led to Brian Pillman Jr. coming out and cutting his own promo as the hometown guy, and he got a really good pop. He bigged up, again, like Punk, he bigged up the Moxley and Suzuki match later in the show, which got a big pop. MJF was more savage in this match than I've ever seen. Like, he was so bad, to the point that when he was like wrapping up his berating of Pillman Jr., his aunt Linda and his family who were sitting at rings, at one point MJF got out the ring, went face to face with Linda, shouting at Linda. He was shouting at Pillman's sister. And he said he would break Linda. Like, he said he was going to break Linda. I was like, what? I'm talking Bubba Ray Dudley levels of heat seeking here. It was pretty outstanding to watch. He wrapped everything up by saying that Brian Pillman should have been aborted. Like, this all broke down to a fight. Wardlow made the save, although they heavily teased Wardlow getting fed up with MJF. Like, during the promo, MJF said, go stand over there and don't mess up like you did at All Out, which Wardlow was staring a hole through him. Like, It was good. It ended up in a fight as you would expected. MJF and Wardlow beat up Pillman Jr. for a bit, and then they both just left. That was it. A very nice segment. MJF is just so close to the bone in this match. I don't think I've ever heard him this savage on a promo. And I've not heard a promo this savage since Bubba Ray Dudley doing the famous promos they used to do in ECW. Next up, we had Ruby Solo versus Jamie Hayter. So this was Ruby Solo's Dynamite debut. She got a great reaction. People were singing the song. People loved the song. It's over as hell. Both women looked really good in this match, but I would say that Hayter looked a lot better. Well, maybe not a lot better, but she looked better than Soho in this match. She was definitely looked the stronger wrestler. I find it a bit unbelievable that Soho would beat Hayter, because we've seen Hayter for quite a few weeks now, and she's really proven that she's a really good wrestler. She's a really strong wrestler, and she's a force to be reckoned with. So I thought it was a bit unbelievable that Soho would beat Hayter. That said, it was still a good match. There was one really scary spot in the middle of it, however. Soho got up on Hayter's shoulders, and like I initially thought that Hayter was going to give her like an electric chair drop or something like that. But Ruby Solo like went backwards as if she was going for a poison rana. And Hayter didn't go with her. Hayter just stood firm and just held her. And I don't know what happened there. I don't know if Ruby like fell backwards by accident or something like that. But it ended up with them stumbling around. Obviously, Ruby Solo's lying back, her head above the map. It looked really scary. One slip and she would have had her neck broken. It was quite scary. Hayter managed to kind of save it. She kind of muscled her up, turned around, and they took a big front bump. It was a scary spot. I don't know what was meant to happen there, but I don't think what happened was what was meant to happen, you know. The finish to this came out of nowhere. Ruby hit a kick to the face of Jamie Hayter and for the win, and that was really it. It was kind of abrupt. There was no real big comeback around finish. Just hit the kick and got the win. It was an alright match. You know, after the match, Britt Baker, Reba ran to the ring, started beating on Soho, I'm still getting used to the name. Rio and Statlander made the save. I would have preferred Ruby Soho to beat someone else in her first match. You know, you've got like Red Velvet. You've got a lot of people that could have took that spot and could have been beaten up in the first match and it wouldn't have mattered. I don't like that they beat Hayter in this match. I think they should be keeping her strong because she's really, really, really good. Other than that and the scary botch, it was a fun match. No real complaints about the match. My complaints are just my own personal criticisms on the booking. Make Hayter stronger. I like Jamie Hayter. Keep her solid, you know. We had a quick Starks versus Cage promo that is Cage. Mind fart. I guess the match is coming soon. Maybe at Arthur Ashe. This will be for the FTW title. This is why I do things live. I don't know why I do things live. I much prefer it live, but if you get tongue-tied, you get tongue-tied. Yeah, there was a quick Starks versus Cage promo. Let's do that again. The match is coming soon. I guess it's going to be at Arthur Ashe for the FTW title. I hope Cage wins. It'll be a nice end to the story. It's been a good story, but it's not been amazing, but it's been good. Ricky Starks is a really good wrestler. Cage is awesome. I don't see why this can't be something that's really worth watching. This, next up, there was a trios match. This was the Pinnacle, that is FTR and Spears, versus the Dark Order, which was Uno, Grayson, and Silver this week. Now, this was a quick match. I think the point of this match was more about the post-match, so I won't labour the point on the match. It was an easy win for the Pinnacle. This was all about what happened after. Basically, the Dark Order imploded. Uno attacked Silver, got into an argument, started fighting. There was a lot of tension here. All the Dark Order was in trying to keep us away. They're all arguing. It's like, oh, what's happening to the Dark Order? Oh, you can't see my t-shirt there, but I've got a Brody t-shirt on. It's like, come on, Dark Order, what's happening here? This all led to Anna Jay and Ty Conti coming out, basically telling them to wise up. There's a lot of tension in the Dark Order, a civil war, so to speak. I don't know what they're going to do with the Dark Order here. I kind of like it. I mean, when Bray Wyatt, I know we're fantasy booking here, when Bray Wyatt first got released by the WWE, I thought it would have been really good to have Bray Wyatt come into AEW and become the leader of one half of the Dark Order. Like, see a split in the Dark Order, become the leader, and then you could have like a civil war, like Dark Order versus Dark Order feud. It does look like they're going towards a Dark Order versus Dark Order feud, which I like. Later on in the show, there was a quick backstage promo. Again, Anna Jay told them all to wise the F up, and she told Grayson to shut up, which is always nice. We then went to an in-ring promo with the Elite. I'm talking the whole Elite. Don Callis did the speaking here. He hyped up Kenny Omega becoming the PWI Fun 500's #1 wrestler. You should watch my video on my other channel. I don't know how I can link it while I'm talking. Look for it. It's Broke Britannia. Check out my Twitter. Adam Cole came out. First of all, there was a little bit of booze, but as soon as he did the Adam Cole baby spot, everyone in the crowd did it along with him, and everyone cheered the living crap out of him. He told... It was quite funny here. He went right up face to face with Tony Schiavone, who was in the ring to interview them, and he said, I know you've been hanging about with Britt. Stay away from Britt. And he made him exit the ring, called him a nerd. It's like, oh, okay. That was funny. Poor Tony Schiavone. I don't think he's been trying to hit on Britt. He's just hanging about with her. They're just friends, you know. Cole said he has always been elite, and that now he is back. The elite is complete. This led to I nearly said the wrong name. This led to Bryan Danielson come out. Whilst he's coming out, Omega gets everyone else to leave the ring. He wanted the ring alone with Bryan Danielson. I'm doing it again, but Bryan Danielson. The two of them got face to face in the ring. They tease Omega versus Danielson. Bryan told Omega, "You are not on my level," which I liked. Now, interesting here. I was noticing a lot of the heights. Like, I'm obsessed with looking at people's height in wrestling. Like, Daniel Bryan has always been thought of as kind of short, but when he went face to face with Omega, Omega's only a little bit bigger than him. So I was like, whoa, how tall actually is Omega? Then interestingly, later on in the show, when Omega, Moxley and Suzuki were out, I always thought Minoru Suzuki was huge. But when he went face to face with Moxley is towering over him. So my concept of height today has been blown out of the water. Back to what we were talking about with Omega and Bryan Danielson. It all broke down. Bryan got Omega in a crossface, but the Elite make the save. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Christian, and Kazarian all run down to make the save for Bryan. This led to Cutler being left alone in the ring. He was surrounded by the good guys. Poor Cutler, I feel bad for him sometimes. He ate a massive running knee from Bryan Danielson. Everyone was happy. I can't wait for Bryan versus Omega. I don't know when they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know how they're going to build to it. If they're going to... Is Bryan Danielson going to have to work his way up to title contender? Or are they going to have some sort of weird match sort of idea where Bryan doesn't need to climb the rankings to get his shot and he just gets a shot? I don't know. I'm interested to see what they do it with. To be honest, I don't really care because it's Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega, and that match will be freaking awesome. It will be so good. So good. So we're going up to the end of the show here. A quick coffee. Coming up on this week's Rampage, we have Britt Baker, DMD, Reba, and Jamie Hayter versus Riho, Soho, and Statlander. That was a tongue twister there. We've got Max Caster versus Brian Pillman Jr., and we've got the Pac versus Andrade match, which was supposed to be on the pay-per-view. This is on Rampage, much to Andrade's chagrin. This should be good. As I said earlier, I'll be reviewing Rampage on Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. on this channel, so make sure to subscribe and you can watch it then. I actually forgot. I just realised I forgot to flash the spoiler warning of... Sorry, I meant to play that at the start of the video. I've not streamed in a while, people. I've not streamed in a while. What can I say? So, we're at the main event of the match, and boy, what a main event this was. Jon Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki. Like, I'm a fan of Jon Moxley. I bloody love Minoru Suzuki. He is awesome. As I said, the one observation I had off the bat when the two went face to face is that Minoru Suzuki's maybe not as tall. I thought he was a giant. He's maybe not as tall as I always thought he was. That said, I am still terrified of the man. He is a scary, scary person. The crowd were hot as hell for this match. Minoru Suzuki came out to a massive ovation. People were loving Suzuki. Although the entrances were quite short, so we did not get to the point in his theme song, which is the Kaze Nina, where people sing along. So we didn't get that. I like the sing-along bit when everyone sings along to Minoru Suzuki's theme. Let's hope he has another match in AEW so we can get that, because I really love that bit. It's good. It gets the fans into it. Moxley came out, the hometown hero. He got an even bigger ovation. The hometown hero pop, so to speak. They loved him. This match was brutal. There was no fancy stuff. There was no big, intricate sequences. It was just two guys beating the crap out of each other. It was all strikes, and more strikes, although Minoru Suzuki did lock on an armbar over the rope at one point, and he tried to work on Moxley's arm a bit at the start of the match. That was really the only wrestling you got in the match. Everything was just forearms, battle and stuff. It was great. Very New Japan strong style match here, which is exactly what people want. It's exactly what people expect from Minoru Suzuki. It's what they want, and that is what they got. We had battling forearms, battling punches, battling lariats, battling bites, battling headbutts. Somewhere in amongst all this, I think, like, Minoru Suzuki does this thing where he gets lariated, but he doesn't take a bump. He just, like, stays tall, stands up, fighting spirit, and then just takes another one. And the first one, it looked a bit... I don't know if Moxley expected him to go down or not, but Minoru got his eye bust open here hard way, which apparently needed like 6 or 7 stitches after the match. So he was bleeding all over it. But of course, being Minoru Suzuki, he's like, awesome. So awesome. It was a very, very, very fun match. I loved it. Moxley ended up getting the win over Suzuki after he hit him with a paradigm shift, and then a minute later hit him with the Death Rider. He was so over this tonight. I really want to see Suzuki have more matches in AEW while he's in America. Even if it's just one, I would be very much like that. Post-match, Moxley celebrated in the crowd. He went all around the crowd. He's going up. He's going into people. He's slapping 5 with kids. He's just loving it. People loved it. Cincinnati loved it. We got someone wrestling a match in their hometown, winning the match, and lapping up the admiration of the crowd, something that you will never get in WWE. Because if you're wrestling in your own town in WWE, you're getting beat because WWE are addicted to heat. They just want heat, 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 heat. AEW, on the other hand, they like sending people home happy, and they definitely went home happy here. I guarantee you Moxley went home happy because he just wrestled Minoru Suzuki and he got to celebrate in amongst his own people. All in all, this was a very fun show. It was super busy though. I think they could have dropped a few of the video packages and a few of the like maybe 1 or 2 matches from the show and gave other matches a bit more time, or there was just a lot of promos, a lot of videos. That said, it was great. It featured most of the top names in the wrestling industry today, and for that alone, it is an absolute win. Rampage this Friday looks like it will be a great show. Remember and tune in to this channel Saturday at 1 PM for me to go over my reactions and reviews for Rampage, which I will probably be able to do in less than half an hour, but I'm still going to try and keep it to half an hour, so I probably won't be talking as fast in that video. Please, if you've watched this and you've liked this, click like. We need likes, we need subscribes, we need people to start watching the Wrestlebuddy channel. We're releasing a lot of content these days, as with the quiz buddies, with these streams that are going to start. And we need people to help out, whether you're a reader of Wrestlebuddy, whether you watch other videos, whether you're one of our writers. Share the stuff, subscribe, like the videos, leave a comment, engage with us. You can engage with me on Twitter at BrokeBritannia, and I'll see you all again on Saturday. Okay, so for me, Steve Smith, on the Wrestlebuddy channel, I bid you adieu.